Hey crafters, this is Nye, and today what we are going to do is we are going to assemble our layered love heart sign for Valentine's Day. Now, I'm going to be using my art glitter glue here for all of my gluing, and as you can see, I have all of my pieces cut out. I have them stacked in the order that I want for gluing. And this craft is just going to be a lot of gluing for us. And what we're going to do is we are going to just begin right away by kind of starting with this back layer. And all we're going to do is flip everything over and then just glue things down. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got my back layer here, and all I'm going to do is just now add glue everywhere to the back of this red layer. And this is one of those designs where you could easily throw in some pattern cardstock here to really add a different look to it. And even though I have certain colors for certain layers, you could definitely go ahead as well and change up the colors to match what you would like. And so as you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm holding it between my fingers and I'm lining everything up based on the positioning of me holding it here. So I kind of created like an edge here with the L, and that allowed me to line everything else up correctly and right on top of each other. Okay, so now we're going to start with this next layer here, and I'm going to basically do the same thing. Again, just adding my glue kind of everywhere here to the back. Once I get to this part of the heart though, I'm going to slow down a little bit as I add the glue, only because this is now just a really thin layer here. But it's really important that you do add glue here as well, because you want to make sure that all of the paper is lining up with the layer underneath and it's all meeting there. So this one is slightly getting off there, and I'm just pressing it down, and there we go. That's good. Okay, so now for this white layer. This is probably the hardest one that was cut out. You probably or may have needed to switch over from the medium cuts to maybe an intricate cut setting for this one, only because it has so many different parts to it. But that probably definitely slowed down the cut if you did do that there. But as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm really getting in between everywhere here with my glue. You want to make sure that you do that so that way you don't have any pieces that kind of come up here in the edges. Okay, it's really kind of important to make sure that everything just kind of stays down once you glue. Okay, so that just about, oh, see, I almost totally forgot about this L part. That would have been not very funny. Okay, so again, once more is I'm just adding glue right here along all of the bits and pieces. You do want to work quickly because as you can see, I'm only adding a little bit of glue, and your glue can dry. If you go too slow, your glue can dry out on you before you even have a chance to place it down. All right, so I'm going to grab this one here along the edge. I'm going to hold this one here along the L. And again, I'm going to use my hand right there to get it all lined up, and then just placing it down. And there we go. So this is just another fun one for us to create and design. Now for this one, again, same thing. These top layers here, they're going to be a lot more of just outline than so much for the design. But again, like I said, you want to work kind of quickly so your glue doesn't dry. You don't want to add too much glue either because you don't want it seeping through once you press it down there. And I'm all distracted as I'm trying to do this. It's kind of therapeutic, I feel like, adding the glue, because it's just very relaxing as you're going. It's almost like painting, I feel like. We're painting the glue on. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here with this one and just lining it up. And this one's a little bit harder, so I'm going to hold it here just to help me to get it right there in that right position. And then again, just give it a quick once over before you press everything down, just to make sure that it's all lined up. Okay, I've got a little bit right there, but it's okay. I'm going to do this now with the red layer. And so, like I said, when you're using the pattern cardstock, if you want, this pink layer and this layer would be really pretty to add in that pattern, because it would just really show up at the end once it's all finished, and for you to see just the pattern there with those hearts, it would look really cool. So, but that's just a personal choice. I left mine plain because I know sometimes it's easier to visualize it when I do it, when it's just not too designed there. Okay, so that looks good for this one. And so again, I'm going to do the same thing. We're just going to hold it and layer it on. All right. So sometimes once you're layering it, it's the trickiest part is just kind of making sure that everything lines up. And it's so focused when you're trying to do that part too. Okay. And now for our last layer, which is just our top black outline here. Again, same thing, just adding the glue right here along the outline before gluing it down. You could work in pieces too if you want, but I usually like to add the glue all at once to everything and then just layer it down, because sometimes I find that if I work in pieces, I will end up shifting it somehow. I don't know how I do it, but sometimes I will. So I like to add it all at once, and then I know I'm good. All right, so now for this last bit, I'm going to do the same thing. Just lining it all up right there. And like I said, with the pattern cardstock, that would look really cool showing through here with this heart design. Okay, and there we go. And so this is a really fun one. If you want to go the extra mile with it too, what you could do is go ahead and just add some twine to the back to create a hook, and then you could hang it on the wall. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and happy crafting.